Testing? Oh, I think we got it. We got it. All right. Yes, his ice is melting. And probably your cup too. All right, there we go.
Unfortunately, because it sounds like a yeah, so I'm cleaning or a blow dryer. That's our GT.
Hey-o! Sorry, I was trying to sell some parts. Had a local, I know the ice is melting. Sorry about that, gentlemen. We had the folks that installed windows in my house in the shop. They took the Lab Rat out for a spin to experience the tie muffler for his 992 GT3 RS. Or sorry, 992 GT3, not an RS. And yeah, so just doing my shale stick on a late Friday afternoon after they got back ripping the 3RS around, seeing what it looked like. What's up, Toshport? Yo, yo, yo. Let's start with the bag drop. That's fun. We got some goodies for y'all tonight. And this Whiskey Friday brought to you by Old Bones Rye Whiskey, 15-year, from our friends at McCallum & Son. So it's quite nice. Cheers. And the ice has melted just enough. All right, we got a bag drop for you, which is really kind of cool. You can go full screen on that if you want. There we go. So there is a new company in Utah that started to try and solve some of our track day dilemmas. Company's name is Livery, LVRY. This is their bag called the CRRY, like carry, but without the vowels. So they're trying to play on no vowels in words. Not sure why, but that's their thing. That's cool. This has room for your helmet, your shoes, your Hans, your fire suit, your accoutrement, little bits and baubles and things you might have, and it fits in your frunk. So there's the suit. Even says gear. There's your helmet. There's your shoes. Even says where they go. That's your doodads and your Hans inside the bag. We are selling these currently for $350 on the website. Maybe Taj will grab a link for that since he's joined us and throw it up in the chat for any of y'all that want it. And for the record, Mr. Doug Stedding and his 285 series wide tires were the very first customer for this bag. So that's also his car in the picture. So thank you for that, Doug. That's very cool. It's a very, very well done bag. Ted and I have been expressing for years it'd be nice if we could not have to carry 3 bags to the track, one for shoes, one for Hans and whatnot, and one for a helmet kind of shit. So very cool. Is it a replacement for those of you that race and need 3 suits and 8 pairs of underwear and all the other shit? No, it's not. It's not big enough. That was not its intention. Its intention is targeted for those of us that need to keep all of our track day shit in one place. So, it probably has some other uses, like our welders were looking at it and going, hey, this would fit welding gear in here real well. I could put my welding helmet in there, and I could put my leathers in there and my gloves in there. And so there's probably a couple other things that it could be used for. But this is what we're targeting it for. What else? We had some scares this week. What up, Winter Circle? What's going on, Gabe? Thank you for the referral of your brother, your buddy. I think we can help him out. Elaine, I think it is. Not my favorite thing to sell cup car parts, but you know a guy, so we'll help him out. Had a scare earlier this week. Chuck Diesel was, Charles was helping his family through a stomach virus over the weekend into Tuesday. He was all set to come into work on Tuesday, and then something happened to him, and he starts throwing up black. Most know that when you're throwing up black, that's typically blood. So by, was it Tuesday evening? I was asking him how he's feeling over text, and he's like, yeah, I throw up and I feel better, but it's been black the whole time, and then I get back to bloated. So I had strongly urged him, as one can strongly urge another, to get to the hospital and at least get checked out so that you don't have to sweat it. So he spent the night in the ER. He is okay. He has been released from the ER. He is at home resting. They suspected bleeding ulcer. They suspected a couple things. He tested negative for all that. He doesn't have H. pylori in his gut, which is great because I've had it, and it's a bitch to get rid of. But he seems to have a torn stomach lining, which I didn't even know that was a thing. And thank you, Justin Green, who is often here in the chat. He's an ER doc, Smokey's GT friend, and just all around cool cat. I was texting him saying, what do you think this is? He's like, this, check this, go here, do that. He also urged, go to the fucking hospital, because if he does have a bleeding ulcer, he's like, those are the patients that die on me when they're in the ER, because, you know, they've been bleeding for a lot longer than he's seeing them bleed, and by then it's their blood pressure's dropping and yada, 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 all that shit. So, so that was scary. And then we have another employee that his family was expecting a child, and it seems that they ran into some complications and they may not. Essentially, he said they went to the ER and they don't have a heartbeat in the baby. So it's been a rough week at Dundon Motorsports. Yeah, it's shitty. And prayers to their family, because that's going to be rough. We've unfortunately also had that happen to another employee. So hopefully they can help one another. There we go, through this. So yeah, that's some shit I cannot comprehend because I have not been through it, and I can't imagine having to, honestly. I mean, I have pets die and I'm a fucking wreck. I can't imagine what it would, I mean, not the equivalent, not trying to make it an equivalent, but that's the only thing that I have a frame of reference for. So anyway, that was what was going on. We did have a couple other more positive and exciting events happen. Let's roll that GT3 footage.
Which one?
Good question. The new white one. That's not a racist comment. It's identifies as whatever you might want it to be. There we go. So, why did Dundon Motorsports, who has current 992 GT3 RS, go back and get a 991.1 GT3? The post we put on Instagram should say, or should be some indication of why. All the 991.1 GT3 owners are very, very happy that we now have a 991.1 GT3 so that we can show them how to keep their 991.1 GT3 from eating itself long term after the 10-year warranty expires, and they can use their car without fear of it, quote, blowing up the engine. How long do you have to drive till it blows up? A couple things to talk about in that regard. So there's some exaggerations, maybe is the better word to use. One of the exaggerations that the engine blows up. Can it blow up? Sure. Yes, it can throw a rod, it can do any number of things, but that's very, very, very far along in its demise. So what's essentially going on, I've said this before, you guys have seen a lot of the 991.1 guys are on Renlist and seen us years ago before the 10-year engine warranty. It's coming up almost 10 years at this point. That the issue is at higher RPM, the oil film that's between the cam and the finger follower goes away because the finger follower is pushing too hard on the camshaft and it squeegees it off. And then you have non-lubricated wear happening between the finger follower and the camshaft. This is why from the E engines, which did not have DLC coated cams, to the F engines, to the G engines, we continue to see more and more use of DLC, diamond-like coating. It's a carbon coating. It's black. It's shiny. Has some level of lubricity or anti-wear coating. And that's why the G6 engine is accepted as the, quote, solution. It's accepted as the solution because it has the most DLC coating. Does that mean that it doesn't wear? No, because 991.1 GT3 RSs were also G6 engines, and they have failed. They have had the same issue. What's up, Justin? Good evening, brother. So you can also look at the anecdotes of Porsche didn't put the 991.1 GT3 engine in a cup car. They kept a Metzger engine in the cup car. But when they came out with the solid lash engine in the 991.2 GT3, that went in a cup car. So there's some things that Porsche knew, even though they claim to not know. And, oh, we didn't know. No, you knew. Give me a break. So all that said, the simplest solution is observe and replace. That's it. Observe and replace. We're not making any parts that go inside Porsche engines. F that. Not doing that, because I do not want to be the guy that gets phone call on a Sunday afternoon. Hey, you're the reason my engine blew up. I have your parts and now I gotta blah, blah, blah. No. No. Not going to be a part of that. No. Charles and I talked about it. Could we? Yes. Will we? No. For those reasons. It's much better to buy Porsche parts for a Porsche from Porsche with a 2-year part warranty so that you can install them and then not have to worry about it. And we will just be your spirit guide through this process. We will illustrate how you might enact it. We will show you the parts to get. We'll show you the methods to do it. We may make some tools to help make it easier. We may give you a YouTube video to follow. I wouldn't say this is a DIY thing, but some of you more advanced DIY guys, maybe. Good shops should be able to do it. And it's pretty obvious. You find the finger follower that's warm by looking at it. If it is missing DLC, then replace it with a new one. That's it. If you do that on a regular basis, that basis has yet to be decided, and it will likely change based off of how you use the car. Those of you who drive it back and forth to Cars and Coffee and wipe it with baby diapers, it's going to be far longer than those of you who do 30 track days a year. I would also tell you, take the car out of automatic shifting and shift manually around 83 to 8400. So, what's up, Orest? Good afternoon. So, reiterating that, those of you that have one, shift manually at 83 or 8400 RPMs. You don't have to go all the way to 9,000 just because the TAC goes all the way to 9,000. You don't have as much horsepower as if you were to shift at 82 or 8300 RPM. It goes like this in the power curve. You might have lost 30 to 50 wheel horsepower by taking it all the way to 9,000. So that's the gist for the engine part of the 991.1 GT3. We have a full suite of new products in the pipe for this car. We have lower control arms. We have sway bar end links. We haven't done the rear dog bones, but those will be pretty simple to make those spherical. And now that we have the car, very simple to do. All suspension is going to go in. MCS is going to go in. We have a new deck lid, and our brother Hodrije from Croatia will be here next week, and he's going to be mainly scanning the 9923 RS, but he's going to be having a good look over the 991.1 GT3 for the new deck lid that allows the Valkyrie swan neck wing to go on. We will be able to test fit our splitter on the car. It's going to be really fun to develop this, and our desire, we'll get to this in a second, is to make the 991.1 GT3 similar to what we've done with the 991.2 GT3 RS and the GT4 RS and 991.1 GT3 RS, whole bunch of other cars to make them as fast or potentially faster than the 992 GT3 RS. Wait, what? What is this blasphemy Jamie is talking about? You can't make the other cars faster than a 9923 RS. That's the fastest one that was ever made. It's the bestest. That's why Porsche charges you $500,000. That's a great shot. Perfect. That's why Porsche charges you so much money. And Gabe knows. Gabe knows. He's driving a Lab Rat 991.23 RS, and he's winning time attacks with it against, well, coming damn close to winning. That stupid guy in the BMW coming in and sneaking in by a couple hundredths in front of you. That was dumb. So you don't have to spend all the money on the 9923 RS just to go fast and have fun with your car. If you want to, that's great. If you can get one for MSRP, fuck yeah, do it. It's a great fucking car. The 9923 RS is a magically fantastic car right out of the box. The best. I told a buddy of mine who was asking me, he just bought a 2RS PTS. He wrote me a text. He's like, should I buy the 3RS, the new 3RS? And I just wrote him, honestly, Chris, it's the best street car Porsche has ever made out of the box. It is incredibly good. Incredibly good. Is it infallible? No. We spent some time. Ted and I now have 2 full track days together in the car at the Ridge. Now pivot at this point. We can start talking about Jamie's development as a race car driver, because Jamie was a race car driver. Anybody get the reference? He went so fucking fast. Come on. All my Gen Xers need to pony up here. We'll just leave that for you. We'll wait that one out in the comments. I'll talk about it later. Don't let me forget to talk about. Thank you, Justin. So what do we got? We got any of the? Yeah, we can throw me versus me. Is that what you got?
Nope.
That me okay, throw me versus me up. Yeah, that's right. All right, so this is me on the 17th versus me on the 30th. Same car, same track. Me going to school a little bit. Thank you, Mr. Justin Green. I figured you would get it. You're in the appropriate age range. So what I was trying to do here, I thought this section, this is from turn 4 through turn 5 is what we're looking at right now. And coming into turn 6, I thought I did this different on the 30th and faster, and I didn't. I just flat fucking didn't. I actually was faster last time. So Ted and I are going to go to school. We're actually going to do some more serious analysis and all this. 8A is another one that I can do, because you see that I did better last time because I started to gain some time, and then I lost it. And then going up the hill, I gained a lot because the car can just go flat. You just got to believe that it can. So you can pick up a lot of speed going up the hill. And then I way overbroke for the thumb that we just came through. 12 is about the same. I don't have a whole lot of problem with this part of the track, but it seems that I could have done a little bit better because I didn't maintain my advantage this last time. I was actually a little slower this part of the track than the last time I did it. So what Ted and I are going to be studying is consistency. How do I maintain the gains that I get? How do I feel what the car is giving me and adjust? That's kind of one of the things. So we can throw up Ted Lee's new best. So Ted is a surgeon in a fast car. That's all I can say. On the we were there on Thursday, so yesterday, and he would go out. I think he got 3 sessions in the car. Yeah, I think 3 sessions in the car. I got 3 sessions in the car, and then we gave a buddy of mine a session in the car. And every session he would go faster. He went a fastest of 140.12, which was 0.3 faster. 0.4 faster than his last week outing. He's figuring out what the car needs to go fast. And the one word he used is patience. The car needs patience to apply the throttle. It needs a little bit more time than he had been giving it. And so he's got a goal of cracking the 140 mark, street tires, all this bit in a street car, which is just really fucking fast. It's incredibly fast. You can see this is me versus Ted. I'm in green, he's in orange on the, yeah, and you can see how much faster Ted is than me by the end. What's great is going up the hill. He used to gain a lot of time on me going up the hill, and I've been able to gather that back. And there's a trick he uses for those of you that track drive, and I wouldn't call it a trick. It's a skill. It's a choice. When you're trying to take torque out of the rear end of the car to prevent a spin, grab a higher gear. And that's what I was doing at the crest of turn 10, that area that Justin just pulled it back through. That's a little scary for me. I'd pull fifth gear, just silly. Yeah, this is coming up because it's a blind ridge with a tiny bit of right turn in it. So we're coming up. This is 9. That's easy. This is 10 right at the top. Oh, there it is. It's a little bit, but you can't see it. And so you normally will pussy your way out of it and drop off the throttle a little bit and then get back on it once you see it. It's kind of a self-preservation thing. So, trusting that the car will do that and that it'll find it and staying in it and being able to feel when it's out of sort and, backing off if you need to, that kind of thing it's a skill set. It's a skill set. It's like anything else. So, that was yesterday. We're still twisting dials. We're still getting things figured out. We shared with a couple of the other 3RS guys there, and I don't consider myself, I'll say, fast among my peers. I don't. But I'm faster than the other 3RS drivers there besides Ted. So I seem to be doing something right. So that's good. Not to take anything away from Karthik, Will, or Mark. They're all fantastic drivers. They're all PCA instructors. And we're all sharing, right? I'm trying this. What are you trying? How are you doing? And it's fun. It's great. That camaraderie on track, it's not racing, but it's similar. It's similar. You're all out there rooting for each other. What are you doing? What's working for you? What tire pressures are you running? Because the car's so fucking great, it's a lot more about the driver in the car than it is about the car in a lot of ways. So this has been for a guy that makes parts to make cars faster, the 992 3RS is surprisingly a driver development car for me so far. Through that exercise, we've already identified, Ted and myself have identified some areas of weakness in the car. Yes, it's not perfect. It's really fucking good, but it's not perfect. That we will begin to rectify. Some of them will take a minute because we got some electronics to reverse engineer and some other stuff that isn't necessarily, I'll say, straightforward to it's different than just going and building parts. We'll say it that way. And I still think it could use some more aero. I'm going to get some hate mail for that, but it could use some more aero. Do we have pictures? Did I send you any of those from Doug's car? Yeah. All right. So we got, speaking of aero, and this is not why Doug sent us his car. We have a GT4 that is, the higher gear, downhill at Road Atlanta is good. It's about taking torque out of the rear wheels so they're not sitting in the power band. You pull a gear and you can settle the rear of the car. I would say coming through 12 at Road Atlanta is the right way to do that, because you're not going to be able to spin the rear as quickly because the engine's in a lower RPM. It's in a higher gear. It's not going to be able to spin the tires even if the rear gets a little light. It's still just going to kind of settle and scoot without bailing from the throttle, right? Because that's the other way to limit torque, is to bail from the throttle, but then you go slow. If you pull a gear, you pull some torque out of the rear end, but you maintain your speed. And this is why it's a it's a bit of a mind fuck for a driver. You're like, I'm going to go up a gear. Normally I go up a gear when I want to go faster. Kinda. You can go up a gear to pull torque out of the rear end so that it doesn't want to spin. So that's some race car shit. Some real race car shit. Yeah, exactly. You can't overdrive the rear end at that point. So you can be going too fast to make the corner. So it's a good thing to experiment with and make sure that you're maintaining your speed. You know, you work up to it slowly. So yeah. Let's talk aero here for a minute. You gotta, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Let's talk about this. Throw that full screen. That's good. Yeah. Can they see the dive planes on the rat? There you go. Yeah, that'll work. Perfect. All right. So there's a company in Germany. They make a vented hood solution for the GT4 RS and GT4. And Shmi, it was raining the day we took this picture, represented them in a bunch of YouTube videos, and that's great. Fantastic. So this is our good friend Doug Hansen's car. Silent tips are already available for that V11 muffler, brother. You're good. We already got that. Ted already ran them. We have them on the shelf. So you're solid, Mr. Mike. So let's look at, so I'm going to ask my buddy Larry Beck, whose today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Larry. He nailed what's wrong with the picture on the left immediately. So we have dive planes and an air curtain. So anybody that has watched our Aerodynamics 101 with our good friend Ryan from Zebulon, which, by the way, I sent this picture to him when I saw the car, and his reply was LOL. Isn't that cute? When an aerodynamicist and race car engineer replies to aerodynamics picture with LOL, that's probably not the best response, that it's the positive. So I'm not waiting too long for y'all to answer. Issue with this picture is an air curtain works by directing air laminarly, smoothly around the front tire to minimize the balloon of high pressure air around the tire to eliminate drag from the car. Yes, Justin, you've already kind of gotten there. So the way a dive plane works is it creates a tornado or a vortice or a vortex. If it's a single vortex, it's probably vortices, but that's fine. A vortex going down the side of the car that sucks high pressure from the wheel well into a low pressure regime inside the vortex, like a tornado, right? That's why the middle of a tornado, Dorothy's house went straight up, because it was getting sucked up. There you go. You can see a little twist, right? You can see things are wanting to rotate off the dive planes. So the issue with this design, by having these teeny tiny dive planes going into an air curtain, is they're in conflict with one another. One's trying to twist the air, making it have energy. The other one's trying to eliminate the energy and make it go laminarly, that's not easily said all the time, across the front of the wheel. Does it look cool? Sure. Looks cool, I guess. But I love Doug to death. He's a great guy. He just wants a cool car. He did this, and he did some underbody stuff from the GT4 RS all at the same time. And I just told him that the underbody stuff is what's doing the work. That's why he feels a difference. This is impossible from an aerodynamicist standpoint to have been of any benefit. The moral of the story is not, we're awesome, they suck. It's educate Yeah, there you go, Simon. Welcome, brother. How you doing, man? It's late. It's late where you're out. You can win at Cars and Coffee with that. That's for sure. For sure. Know what you're buying. Educate yourself a little bit. If it looks like it's weird or well, how the hell is... Think like the wind. Think like the air when you're buying aerodynamic parts. If it seems like it's impossible to make a difference, it probably is. Probably is. A couple other things with this. I have a hard-on about this, or heartburn about it, depending. Maybe not hard-on. Heartburn. Mr. Simon Youngman's badass 718 GT4 Lab Rat. It's got MCS. Rocking the TE37s. He's one of the only ones that I know that's brave enough to mix JDM with Euro awesomeness. Except for maybe us with our Advans. We're rocking that shit. And my homie with the sticker. What the hell's his name? Who sold us the Advans? Anyway. The guys in Germany call their solution a splitter. Have an issue with this. So there is a difference. And for all of you guys who are fans of ours, correct. There you go. She's like the wind. Exactly. A splitter must be splitting the air and have a smooth underneath into a diffuser. So it's manipulating the pressure difference from the top and bottom of the car by extending the length of the air's travel, therefore reducing the pressure and making a larger differential pressure from the top of the car to the bottom of the car. That's generally how a splitter works. There's some other ways that the splitter works. You can use a stalled splitter that allows it to build up on the front of the car, and therefore it kind of acts as a brick. But those are a little draggy. It works for adding downforce to the front of the car, but it's not very efficient. So there's that. And then there's a lip. Great picture. So you can see from this is God, you threw... My man Justin is on top of it. This is fantastic. Even the split between which side is which is legit. So on the left, we have a stock GT4, which is essentially what the lip from the company in Germany's, quote, splitter is doing. And you don't see a lot of blue trailing behind the leading edge because it's essentially just a lip. It's trying to block the air from getting under the car, but that's the only thing it's doing. You still see some... this is from a 4RS. You still see some blue from the turning vanes underneath the car trying to direct some of the low pressure out. And if you look at what our splitter does to it, that's all right. On the other side, you can see how much more blue we're able to affect with the splitter, even all the way back to the diffuser. There's more blue under the diffuser from the splitter and the wing combination than there is alone. And it looks subtle. Aerodynamics is subtle. It only takes a little bit of difference over a large area to make a dramatic improvement in the car. So the takeaway here is a lip or an air dam is not a goddamn splitter. I'm getting tired of having to tell people what the hell the difference is. I'm not that smart. Most of y'all are smarter than me. I just happen to apply myself maybe a little harder sometimes. But especially when it comes to that. But know what you're buying, right? If you look at something that they're selling and it's $2,000, and something we're selling and it's $8,000, you're like, oh, they must be the same. Come on. I mean, really? Is it? A little tingly back there, maybe a little something. Maybe it's not the same. Anyway, so that was something. Doug, I love you. The reason that Doug's car is here is for this bad boy. So he gets the very first. Nice. Thanks, Gabe. You're not helping. Yeah, if he started throwing snippets up of Whiskey Fridays as a story. Oh, which by the way, thank all of y'all who are joining us for Whiskey Friday on YouTube. We're now monetized on YouTube. We've made $1.50. So that's awesome. It doesn't cost us money now. We actually get to make a little bit. I appreciate all of y'all for helping us with that. This is the first GT4 V11 muffler package that is going to get installed on a GT4. This has been delayed a little bit. That's supposed to happen maybe today, but Charles is in the ER. So shit happens. He's going to be in next week, but he's going to be on light duty. So it might take a little longer. Luckily, Doug is very patient, and I can appreciate that because I'm always a little trepidatious when it comes to bringing a customer's car in to do some R&D work, because sometimes R&D work, you get curveballs, and you got to figure out the curveball, and you got to move forward. We have a customer's car from Vancouver, 997.2 GT3 RS, that just did not want to cooperate with our D4 package. Whatever we did tuning wise, it did not like it. And anybody that works on cars will just respond with fucking cars. And sometimes it's like that. So that car needs to get done first because Ray's been waiting a minute. He has been waiting a minute, and I appreciate his patience, and I know it is running out because mine would be running out. So that is our top priority of that car on the dyno, to get it across the line so that it can get back in his hands and he can get a pressure plate in it, because thing shifts like a fucking 1950s Chevy truck right now. And maybe get a little transmission work, because the synchros between first and second kind of suck. But it is a beautiful white on red 997.2 GT3 RS that probably in the time period that he purchased it from Japan is appreciated by $200,000. So goodbye. And it makes lots of power. You just got to make sure that it's drivable. It's nice, that it's crisp and friendly as you drive it. And that kind of shit takes a minute. So the other thing that will happen from that work is we are trying a completely different tuning strategy on his car. Freddie, thank you. It was Freddie. I didn't know Freddie was watching. Yes, you ran the Advan GTs, and you are my JDM hero. Thank you, sir. You and Simon need to go get a beer together at some point, because y'all are legit. Thank you, Freddie. I didn't know you were lurking out there. Thanks for joining in. And Freddie got me the one set of Advans that existed in Japan. Literally, there were none. This was during COVID, and he was able to find that shit and make it happen. That was legit, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I actually got those wheels back. I sold them to somebody and I got them back. So I still have them, which is awesome, but they're orange, which is perfect for our car. So anyway, Doug's going to be the first, right after Ray's car is complete and Charles is back here in full health. So it's, as the dude who's trying to steer the ship, I've had a lot of rogue waves this week. I'll just use that as a fucking analogy. And trying to steer the ship with a bunch of fucking rogue waves is a bitch. When every day you're like getting punched in the face. You're like, whoa, okay, that didn't work. Go that direction. Oh, that didn't work either. Hey, let's go to the track tomorrow. I'm going to try and go faster because I'm going to concentrate on fucking hell. You can't. I was so fucking stoked in the first session when I gained a second, almost a second on the last time. I was like, Whew. Okay. I actually remembered some shit, and I got this across the line as the midst of all this other shit swimming around in my head trying to, like, get in the way. So I can get some shit out of the way once in a while. So we also didn't have a very strong sales week the week before, and we had a very strong accounts payables week, which was stressing me out. So everybody kind of took a breath. It's like coming into Memorial Day, everybody's going to go on vacation. Not everybody's thinking about car parts. Strong again now. We've got some good prospects for next week. Cash flow's good. Just running a business is hard, y'all. Just say that. It's hard. It is not the panacea that Instagram and all these other, oh, you own your own business? You're so lucky. You don't own your own business, do you? Yes, there are times when we are lucky. There are times we get to celebrate. There are also a whole lot of fucking cold sweat nights, waking up 4 a.m, anxious as fuck, not knowing what the fucking answer is. There's a whole lot of that too. So sometimes making $1 for somebody else that's sweating those details ain't so bad. Just say that. Would I trade it? No, because I kind of dig the roller coaster. I like the. I'm a seaman, not SEAMAN. Come on now, don't put your head there. If anyone's a seaman in that regard, it's Justin, because dude's potent. That's all. I got him off guard. He's still laughing. That's great. Meaning you have to navigate what the weather brings. You have to navigate what's coming, and that is having a small business. You can throw some shit in the bank. You can try and be ready for things, but you're going to get curveballs. It's going to happen. You know, I did not expect. Hold the seaman. Yeah, thank you. Man. And yes, you're in for that shit. We just gotta, version 69. Word. Simon has a lot of pictures of me that are, I wouldn't say fully incriminating, but could be portrayed as incriminating. And it's awesome. Simon's good people. Anybody in Florida, hit up Driver's Choice for all of your GT car needs. And you will get taken care of like king of the castle level shit, which is exactly what we're looking for. Except for that post about Soul. That one I had provocation about, but I get where you're coming from. It's a turbo car, blah, blah, blah. We don't do turbo shit. Fine. I'll let it go. Yes. When we can finally get ahead of it and we can get him one in a time frame that I can comment on. Yes, we did move the set. Good eye, Ed. So we rearranged upstairs, and welcome. My man Ed has, he is no longer a lab rat, but maybe at some point he will be. He sold his 991.2 GT3 RS, full lab rat edition. It was the chalk one that we had on a number of occasions that we would show you guys some stuff. And the car had some bad juju. It needed some chicken blood and some chanting and some like sage smoke on it and a bunch of shit going on. Like, can't like throw it in the sweat lodge, sweat it out, try and exercise the demons, all of it. It needed all of it. Cause it was, every track day, it would throw Ed a new fucking curveball. Now, will I say that some of them were invited by some decisions that Ed made that maybe could have been more informed before they were executed? Yeah. Wheels from China, magnesium cheap wheels from another part of the world. That's not the best thing to run track on, but he didn't know at the time. And so to his defense, not saying anything that this was your fault, Ed. I want to make that abundantly clear. Not your fault. You just listened to another company's marketing pitch, and it seemed legit. Really light wheels, really competent. We tested them. They're great. Buy them. They're way cheaper than the Porsche BBS magnesium ones that everybody else is wanting to do. Cool. So wheel broke. Then the PCCB delaminated on the side that the wheel broke on the next track day. So he's got one track day where the wheel broke, has to drive back to fucking Idaho from Western Washington, which is not short. Comes all the way back to Western Washington. PCCB breaks, has to go all the way back to Idaho with a broken car. There's a point where you're like, fuck this shit. And Ed got to that point. Fuck this shit. He traded the car in. He got a beautiful Gentian blue 992 GT3. And good for him. He is happy with his purchase. And at the end of the day, we do this for happiness. This is supposed to be fun. If it's not fun, change it. He changed it. He took action. He fucking changed it. Kudos to you, brother. Kudos to you. Sometimes relationships don't work out. Word up. Word up. That is legit truth. So you got to be the bigger person, and you have to identify when those relationships are not working out for you, and you got to fix it. Word up. As soon as you get a windshield, and I would say drive the fuck out of it, regardless what the fuck is. As long as you can see, who cares if it's got a crack? Just drive it. You're good. Yeah, buddy. There we go. That's that. Where'd you fucking find that?
You just sent it to me.
Oh, that's legit. I was like, God damn, that came out of nowhere. That is a beautiful fucking car, dude. That is a beautiful car. So, yeah, you know, you don't have to get a Porsche windshield. They're old enough. You could get somebody else's windshield. I'm just saying. Justin might know a guy. He actually has insider connections with windshields. So, yep. Yes, they do. And any of your Novus locations will be able to hook you up with that. So, or Speedy Glass or whomever. Sometimes aftermarket isn't so bad. Then get one of the aftermarket ones. Brother, we working on it. We're going to be scanning it this week. We got to scan a lot of shit because I'm not just going to make pretty parts. I want to make pretty parts that do something. And the aero on the 992 GT3 RS is complicated because we have a lot of through the car airflow to model, not just around the car. Through the car is more computes, more scanning, more. So my poor fucking car is going to be dismantled, which, oh, speaking of dismantled, oh, wait, that's cool. Squirrel. That's cool video. Is that me or Ted?
That's you.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's me. Yeah, we can see the DRS moving because Jamie uses a lot of brake and a lot of throttle through this section of the track.
It's coming up. Watch the Dundon. Right. Oh, now.
See the Dundon? Pow.
You can look good. You can see the heat plume coming from the vents.
Yeah, if you look at the out of focus coming by the hood, you can see the amount of heat coming out. I noticed this driving the car home, that when you look in the rearview mirror, it looks like the heat coming off the road, like when you're driving in the desert, like way far away, but it looks like that in the rearview mirror. It's weird. It's like, I was like, what the fuck? I'm not that tired. Why am I not able to? I have bad eyes, not horribly bad eyes, but bad enough eyes that I had to question my eyesight sometimes. And I'm like driving home. I'm like, why is that all wavy? What the? Oh, that's That's hot air. That's what that looks like. That's that whole waviness you see with hot. So that was kind of cool. So we were going somewhere before we got squirreled.
Disassembly or something.
Yeah, show the oil leak. So we get back from Road Atlanta. Robert, who's like, I'm going to start calling him Mini Charles because he does a whole fuckload of shit here and gets pulled in a lot of directions, often to his frustration because logistics manager wants him to ship stuff. I want him to work on cars. Charles wants him to go in the dyno, and he gets pulled in like 3 fucking directions every day. So we're going to get better as a management team to not make that so fucking confusing as to what the right answer is, because that's unfair to him. But this is what we saw when we were going to put the car on the dyno. Porsche, why the fuck is my car leaking oil? I appreciate that. Thank you. You need to talk to your wife about the indiscretion. I think she's the one that has the fucking video. So anyway, wife, girlfriend, I think wife. I don't know. I don't pay attention to this shit. I'm a dude. So, you know, whichever. The gal that I've seen you with consistently over the number of years that I've known you. How about that? This is a 992 GT3 RS with now 2,980 miles on it, with oil stains underneath of it, from what appears to be an inadequately torqued sump, oil sump pan, because Robert put a torque wrench after Jacob. Yeah, literally, we got GTS parts on a GT3 RS. If a GTS was a dry sump, I'd believe you, but I think this is a Porsche not understanding what a torque wrench is for level shit. Like they did on the 2014 GT3 that I bought that started tossing rods out the block. So throw the picture back up. Not quite done yet. So you can see it's leaking around the sump. It's covered in oil, but it wasn't very high. And it's right at the seal where the oil pump lives. And it only leaks oil when the car is sitting still. We had it on the dyno. We looked at it. When it's running and that sump is empty, and Simon will get this, a couple of you will, because it's a dry sump engine and the pump is evacuating all of the oil from the sump and putting it in the tank when the car's running. But then when it stops running, anything that was low will seep back into the sump, reach a level of equilibrium and kind of hang out. And then it'll start to drip out of the seal. Robert figured out, you know, I got Jacob to get us the torque specs from one of his buddies at Porsche, at a Porsche dealership. That's what I'm looking for. And we put a torque wrench on the bolts we can get to, because there are some of them that you can't because of the oil cooler and some other lines. And we're able to eliminate this to about 1 to 2 bolts that it's still leaking through. We will have to send the car back to the dealer to get this under warranty, so that if and when the car decides to lose an oil pump and an engine, that it's recorded that they did it and not us, blah, 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 blah. And that's not going to happen right away because I have to take the car apart to get it scanned. We got it tight enough so that it would make its next track day. We haven't taken the diffuser off, blah, blah, blah. New car shit from Porsche. There you go. Hopefully your mileage may vary. 6 o'clock. I've got to get on to get me some hamburgers before the wife wakes up. I'm taking a friend of mine to the PPF shop in the morning. And Sunday, my nephew is coming over. So back from San Diego State, his first year at college, good kid. We're going to go get some Korean food because he's half Korean. Mom's American. Yeonmi's brother's son. And we got to keep his Korean alive. I'm like 25% Korean at this point, maybe. I know enough to be dangerous. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Anybody has any questions for us, hit us up in the chat, either on Instagram or Shopify or all the other fucking channels that we have that I can never stay in front of. So, yeah, and it's awesome. This is funny. Porsche will say it isn't a leak if it doesn't hit the floor. And there's a diffuser that'll hold like 8 quarts of oil underneath the engine. That seems very, yeah, what's word I'm looking for? Seems very convenient. There we go. It's very convenient. They put a giant catch pan underneath the engine that'll hold a giant amount of freaking fluid if the engine's going to leak. Yeah. Pretty sure this is more than a drip. So, all right, y'all. You all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to me. Prayers to our guys that are healing in all the ways that they are healing. I wish I had words that would help them. I don't. I wish I did. Anybody else who's healing out there, take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And